Hey guys, and welcome to Ardent Sports, and week 1 is officially behind us in the NFL season. Was a rather interesting week for some teams, and a rather expected week for others. So first off, let me get you guys caught up to date on the competition between YaBoyHobo, Johnny Talk Sports, and myself. Johnny Talk Sports is in the lead at 9-7, and YaBoyHobo and I are actually tied at 8-8. Most notably, some of the games that we got wrong was we all thought that Tampa Bay would beat New Orleans, and that turned out to not be the case. Hobo and I got Tennessee beating Denver, correct? Johnny and I got Pittsburgh beating the Giants, correct? And we all had absolutely no hope for the Jets, and we're correct in Buffalo beating them. Also, Hobo thinking Miami was going to win was completely wrong. New England did beat Miami, so Johnny and I got that, and I am the only idiot who picked Cleveland over Baltimore. Kind of on a limb, but clearly that limb was not necessary. Anyway, let's get into week numero dos, and let's kick it off with Thursday Night Football. So Thursday Night Football, at least in my opinion, is kind of a battle of who cares. It is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, so Cincinnati is rolling into the dog pound, of course. I'm trying to get the games pulled up on my phone here just so I can get everything. There we go. So, rolling into the dog pound, both teams are 0-1. It is Thursday, the 17th at 8:20 on NFL Network, as long as a couple other networks. So, my thoughts on this game are very simple. The Browns are a better team than the Bengals overall. Of course, with the Browns being led by Baker Mayfield and company, while the Bengals are being led by Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, obviously being a rookie, not completely proven yet, but I do think he will have some things to prove in the NFL this season. I think he will get some wins. However, with the Browns being the home team, I get, home team advantage doesn't really have much to do with this season, being that the crowds are not being let in. There's not a whole lot of fans. I think 3 games last week had fans at 20% capacity each, so it turned out to be like 500 to maybe 1,000 fans, most of whom being personnel of the home team and like immediate friends, family of the home team. So I do have the Browns winning this game. I don't think it's going to be a very wide margin. It's going to be close. It's going to be rather low scoring. But I am going to take the Browns over the Bengals in Thursday night football. Next up, 1 o'clock on CBS. That's weird. An NFC matchup on CBS. We have the New York Football Giants 0-1 going up against the Chicago Bears, who are 1-0. Khalil Mack, Daniel Jones. Couple stars from each team, or a star from each team, I should say. This game is going to be tough for a few different reasons for both standpoints. One, the Giants were actually pretty close until the end with the Steelers just last night. However, I do see the Giants doing better in this game than against the Steelers. I still don't see it being a great overall game for New York, just for the simple fact that they will have to get past guys like Khalil Mack on the Chicago defense. So with that being said, the Bears offense isn't the greatest either. I do see this again being a close game between the two teams. I am actually, believe it or not, gonna take the upset in this game and give it to New York. I think the Giants will edge out the Bears. Mitch Trubisky has not been a proven quarterback, so I do think Daniel Jones can get this done with Sterling Shepard and Saquon Barkley by his side, along with Evan Ingram, and just see what they can do. So I am going to take the Giants over the Bears. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons 0-1 going into Dallas AT&T Stadium against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys put up a strong showing against the Rams just this past week. Ended up being a 20-17 loss by the Cowboys in LA. It was a great game to watch. Meanwhile, the Falcons defense looked kind of sloppy, allowing 4 touchdowns for Russell Wilson. And taking a 38-25 loss against, obviously, the Seahawks. So both teams did lose. Dallas overall looked better than Atlanta. I do feel that Dallas will come out and do well again, especially now that they're at their home opener. Again, I know that home field advantage doesn't have as much to do with this season as it has in years past, but just that comfort, that familiarity for the teams in their home field or home stadium, however you want to look at it. So I am going to take Dallas in this game. I just feel that Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, as much as I can't stand Zeke Elliott sometimes, will be able to get the job done over Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Not a whole lot to say against this game. Detroit Lions do not have the best track record at Lambeau Field, which is where they're playing this Sunday. Aaron Rodgers looked fantastic last week. Again, 4 touchdowns, just like Russell Wilson. And I can't see Green Bay losing this game to Detroit, especially at home. Not that Matt Patricia is a bad coach, not that Matt Stafford is a bad QB. Just overall, Aaron Rodgers seems to be doing really well this season. And I'm not going to say he found a fountain of youth, but he does not seem to be aging as rapidly as a lot of people think he would. So therefore, a definite Green Bay win over the Detroit Lions. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into Tennessee to go up against Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry was absolutely electric last night against the Broncos. Had a hell of a game. I do expect him to have more of the same. Again, the Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of like some of the other teams we've talked about, are not the best overall defensive or even, for that matter, offensive team. The Jaguars did get a win last week, as well as the Titans. So both teams are coming off of wins. Jaguars beat the Colts 27-20, and the Titans beat the Broncos 16-14 last minute. I think there was like 17 seconds left when they kicked the game-winning field goal. Steven Gostkowski, of course, the former Patriot, as much as it kills me. But it was a great game overall. Both of them were. But I do think that Tannehill is going to have a better luck and a better game than Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. They are playing at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The Vikings last week did play the Green Bay Packers and lost 43-34. That was actually the highest scoring game out of all the games this past week. Kirk Cousins didn't look awful, honestly. Did I think he looked great? No, but he hasn't looked great in a few years. Indianapolis Colts, it's, you know, the Phillip Rivers era has started, and it went actually quite well overall, considering, you know, he isn't the youngest QB anymore, and also, you know, like they've been saying almost every single game, no offseason, no training camps, so they're kind of blindsided, just ready, set, go. So for what it was worth, it did not look that bad in the case of Phillip Rivers. So I'm not quite sure on this game. This one's kind of going to be a toss-up for me. This one's kind of going to be like could go either way for me. I am actually going to give this to Phillip Rivers and the Colts. Vikings are without Stephon Diggs, which is a hardship for them. He's in Buffalo now for the reason still don't know. So I will give this game to the Indianapolis Colts. Next up, we have division matchup: Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, Ryan Fitzmagic, and Josh Allen. Now, I gotta say, even as a Patriots fan, Josh Allen is absolutely incredible. He is one of the best QBs I have seen in a long time. Now, don't get my words mixed up here. I'm not saying he's better than Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying he's better than Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying he's better than Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. However, he looked pretty damn good against the Jets this week, and I get he was facing the Jets, so it's like, how good can that really be? How good of a representation can that really be? However, with that being said, it takes a lot to go out there and win a game, no matter who you're playing. So, with that being said, I do not see Ryan Fitzmagic in the Dolphins, or even Double T, I'm not going to try and say his last name, Tagovailoa, I think is close to how you say it. I cannot see them coming out, even in Miami, and beating the Bills. So I am going to take Buffalo in this game over Miami. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers rolling into MetLife Stadium to face off against the New York Jets. So, Jimmy Garoppolo and Sam Darnold. I believe they actually faced off against each other once back when Garoppolo was still with the Patriots. I think. I might be off by a season. However, with that being said, San Francisco has a pretty solid team. Not the greatest, not the worst. The Jets, on the other hand, are just plain awful. They're definitely looking like they're not going to have a great season. Definitely looking like they're going to have close to the #1 pick this year in the draft. I know it's only week 2, but that's just what I'm seeing out the gates. So with that being said, not that there's much to say on this game, I am in fact taking the San Francisco 49ers to win over the New York Giants. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams coming into Philadelphia to face off against Carson Wentz and the Eagles. And I gotta say, for Carson Wentz being a pretty injury-ridden quarterback, he didn't look too bad. He put up a good showing against Washington. Washington just kind of came up late in the game and managed to win by a score of 27-17. However, Carson Wentz, I feel, is going to have a better showing this game. Granted, he still will have to go against Aaron Donald and the LA Rams defense, which is not an easy feat to do whatsoever, even for the best QB in the league. With that being said, Jared Goff had a pretty strong showing over the Cowboys. Again, the Rams did win that game. And I do think that the Rams will come out and actually win again. So I am going to take the Rams over the Eagles in Philadelphia. It's going to be close. I'm going to say 27-23, somewhere in that realm. Next up, we have the 0-1 Denver Broncos coming into the Steel City to face off against Ben Roethlisberger and the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh has put up a pretty strong showing this year so far. I know it's only week 1, but Ben Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster did quite well. Clearly not missing Le'Veon Bell at all. And the Broncos didn't look the greatest. They put together some decent plays, but at the end they just could not hold on to that lead against Tennessee. Pittsburgh has been a really strong team, like I said, even over the last season and a half, even with an injured Ben Roethlisberger. I am going to take Pittsburgh in this game, and it's going to be a relatively wide margin. It's not going to be huge, but it's going to be a decently sized margin. Next up, we have Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers rolling on into Tampa Bay to face off against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So last week was a little bit of a struggle for Brady and the Bucs. Brady did not do the greatest. A couple interceptions, one of them being a pick six. His second pick six in back-to-back games, being that the last throw he ever threw for New England was a pick six. So they did end up losing to the Saints last week by a score of 34-23. Drew Brees just went completely off in that game. This week, on the other hand, the Carolina Panthers, I don't see them doing a whole lot. They did lose 34-30 last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. So I don't necessarily think that just because of the loss that they will lose again. That is the Panthers. But the Buccaneers, I feel, at home will be able to get the ball rolling a little bit more. Brady now sees what his team can and can't do. Mike Evans definitely struggled last week as well, which I don't think will happen again this week. I'm actually going to give this one to the Bucs. I feel that they can get the job done. I definitely think it'll be a little bit of a higher scoring game for the Bucs. It'll be close, but we'll say 31-24 for this game. Next up, we have the Washington football team at 1-0 rolling into Arizona to face off against Kyler Murray and the 1-0 Arizona Cardinals. This game is going to be very interesting. Both teams did quite well last week, especially the football team coming from a behind win to beat the Eagles. Ron Rivera getting the game ball at the end, rightfully deserved. So I'm actually going to take the Cardinals in this game. I feel that the Cardinals are just the better overall all-around team. DeAndre Hopkins, Chandler Jones, Patrick Peterson, just to name a few. So we will take Arizona over Washington. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to LA to face off against the Chargers. I don't have a whole lot to say on this game. Tyrod Taylor, Pat Mahomes, enough said. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs win this game. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. The Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. Boy, is this going to be a hell of a game, just like last week with Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes. I feel it's going to be a little bit different this week. I feel that Deshaun Watson will do better. Not that he did terrible last week, but I feel like he can do a little bit better now. He kind of sees what he's working with without DeAndre Hopkins. So I do actually have Baltimore winning this game. Just Lamar Jackson is honestly, he's just too good. So I will take Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens over the Houston Texans. Next up, we have the New England Patriots led by Cam Newton heading into Seattle to face off against Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Two mobile QBs. This is actually the game that you're seeing here on the screen now. Both teams are actually kind of surprising, if you ask me. I didn't expect Seattle to put up as strong of a showing as they did this past week. Not to downplay Russell Wilson at all, but just I didn't know exactly what he was going to be working with. Meanwhile, Cam Newton put up more rushing yards than any quarterback in franchise history. And the first rushing touchdown, I believe they said since 76, I think they said, for the Patriots. I don't remember, or to have 2 rushing touchdowns, maybe it was, since 1976. So, anyway, I'm going to take, unfortunately, being a Patriots fan, I am going to take Seattle in this game. I just feel them being home, I feel like they're going to have the better overall playing ability in this game. Cam Newton is still trying to figure out his team, while Russell Wilson kind of has his team locked down. So I am going to take Seattle over New England. And last up, Monday Night Football, we have the New Orleans Saints rolling in to Las Vegas to face off against the Raiders. And not a whole lot to say on this game either. New Orleans is, let's be honest, New Orleans is the better overall team. Las Vegas doesn't have too many solid pieces. Yes, they did get the win last week over the Panthers, but again, it's not necessarily saying much. So I am going to take the New Orleans Saints in this game. I feel Michael Thomas will have a better game. I feel Alvin Kamara will have a solid game. And Drew Brees, I feel like he's going to have at least 3 touchdowns passing in this game. All right, guys. That is going to be it for me. Be sure to check out YaBoyHobo and Johnny Talk Sports for their predictions as well. I will drop a link in the description to both of their channels so you can watch their videos and subscribe. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell as you know we're going to help out our channels. Do the same for YaBoyHobo and Johnny Talk Sports if you guys have not already. And I will be seeing you guys next week with my Week 3 NFL season predictions. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace, I'm out.